time. During an earthquake, Count Arcus tries to dispose of Duke Max, but later gets his comeuppance.
Count Arcus was my worst enemy, but he didn't deserve such a dreadful fate.
Sissi leaves her wedding plans to her staff, who are given assistance by Saturnic and Helena.
It's a madhouse.
And a fairy tale put together!
Franz is not pleased with the results.
Enough!
I'm sorry, Franz. I trusted them, and I was wrong.
Why shouldn't we together embrace the right to believe? If we could love each other the way that we like, no fortune, no fate, no days and nights are lonely. Your memories fill my dreams. I know because you live, I'll do the same. Nobody else will take you away. Nobody else will love you this way. Nobody else will take you away. Nobody else. Nobody else.
Goodbye, baby. Oh, I've had it with this. I'm not a nanny after all. I know just the place for you, the orphanage.
Oh no, another nightmare.
So you're having bad dreams, too.
Since the Battle of Radenburg, I have the same one every night. I'm a baby, and I'm Arcus's prisoner. I start crying, he carries me on his horse, and he sets me down on the doorstep of the orphanage and leaves me there crying.
My little girl!
Papa! Oh, Papa, it's been so long.
Since my exile in Araman. But tell me, to what do I owe the honor of a visit from the gracious Princess of Austria and Hungary? I was about to leave for Schönbrunn for your wedding. Don't tell me. I know. You decided to get married at Posse after all. But I don't see Franz.
I'll never marry Franz.
Sissi! Sissi!
Never!
Tommy, I didn't see you. Can you tell us what's going on?
It's all because of that ridiculous wedding rehearsal.
Bravo, Franz. That's the spirit. Lock Sissi away in an old box and we'll never mention her again.
Mother, Carl, how are you?
What is the meaning of this, Franz? Sissi has gone? This is unbelievable. My son has a perfect fiancée, worthy of being the future Empress of Austria, and he lets her go!
But she was the one who...
Silence! I refuse to listen to excuses. If she left, it must have been something you did.
Me? But I...
Really, I'm ashamed of you. You'll write to her with a full and unequivocal apology. At once!
For once, Franz, I think Mother is right.
Ridiculous! I can't let this happen.
Franz was furious. Sissi felt responsible for the disaster, and we left on the spot. That's the whole story.
I can't believe it.
Sissi looks so sad. What are we going to do?
I think I have an idea. Kyle, Conrad, follow me.
Stop! Stop this minute! Look what you've done to our beautiful gazebo. Can't you see it looks horrible?
We thought it would make you happy.
Oh, no, don't cry. Come on, it doesn't matter. I didn't mean to get angry.
Really?
You forgive us?
Why, of course. Everyone makes mistakes.
That's right. And I'll bet Franz has figured that out by now, too. If you wrote to him, I know he'd forgive you. I just know it.
Aha! I should have known. It was another trick. All right, then. I'll do it. I'll write to Franz.
Simple as that.
Here, Caspar. I'm finished. His Highness almost missed the departure of the mail.
Oh, we have to start all over again! Franz is going to write to her. She'll come back! She mustn't come back! I can't bear it! How can you stay so calm, Zotto? It's making me crazy!
Indeed. It's quite unfortunate, Miss Helena.
Unfortunate! It's a catastrophe! We have to do something!
Of course, I'm sure I could do something, but you know my conditions.
I promise that I won't ask you to perform any more servant's duties, my little Zotto.
And what else?
I promise when I become Empress that you'll be my Chancellor, my little Zotto. Well, what more do you need, Zotto?
For the last time, my little Helena, that you stop calling me Zotto.
My
Clumsy!
lumbering oaf!
It's strange, but since the Countess disappeared, I find his castle less terrifying.
Yes. I wonder what will happen to it now.
Arcus!
In the flesh! And just in time to catch you trespassing on my property! And on top of that, you're stealing my raspberries! Give me that, you little rascal!
You won't touch a hair on his head.
You insolent little thief!
Sergeant Thomas!
My riding crop. Didn't you hear what Sissi said, Count Arcus?
Gluck! Thomas Gluck! No! No! It can't be!
Thomas!
Hello, Tommy. Hello, Princess.
Sergeant Thomas, you don't know how happy I am to see you. But what are you doing in these woods?
How come you know Arcus? And why was he so scared of you?
It's a long story.
Come back to Posse with us, Sergeant Thomas. I'm sure everyone there will be very interested in what you have to say.
To the memory of Count Arcus.
Ah, now there was a real bandit. I'll miss him. It's Count Arcus's ghost.
Well, welcome home, Count.
Finished! I'm finished!
That's no ghost. It's the real Count Arcus.
The architect! The architect is back!
The architect?
Gluck! Thomas Gluck! Don't you remember Snidely?
Hey, who's this Thomas Gluck?
The Count's oldest enemy. We had him convicted and sent to prison, and we thought we got rid of him. But
he came back!
Wait a second, Count. There's still hope. If I remember correctly, this Thomas Gluck was banished from Bavaria.
Punished?
Banished! That means he no longer has the right to return to Bavaria.
That also means that Gluck is still an outlaw.
Exactly, Count.
Snidely, you're my hero. Go and order the burgomaster to have Gluck arrested and to send him straight back to prison once and for all.
Well then, welcome to Posse, Sergeant Thomas.
Thank you, Duke. Your Grace.
Max. Call me Max. Any man that scares that scoundrel Arcus is a friend of mine. And my friends call me Max.
So, Thomas, will you tell us your story?
Well, it all started about 10 years ago.
Duke Max! Open up! It's me, Heinrich, the Burgomaster!
Wait here. I'll be right back. Ah, Burgomaster, what can I do for you?
Well, Duke, this is unfortunate, but it's a little delicate.
Go on, Heinrich.
Thomas Gluck, in the name of the law, I arrest you!
Explain yourself, Heinrich. What is Thomas accused of?
Thomas Gluck is a convict. 10 years ago, he was sent to prison and banished from Bavaria forever.
No, stop! You can't put handcuffs on him. Thomas is a hero. He saved my life.
Now, Heinrich. Let him at least tell his story.
As I was saying, it's a long story. It began almost 10 years ago. My poor wife died giving birth to a baby boy. So I settled in Munich with my son. I was a young architect at the time. I got to work quickly. Business was good. One day, I received a visit from a new client, a certain Count Arcus.
Thomas Gluck, they say that you're the best architect in Bavaria. I'd want you to build me a castle.
But I already have so much work.
Forget the rest. From now on, you're working for me, and for me alone. That's fine. That's perfect. Don't forget the underground passages. You can start construction.
Here's the contract, Count Arcus.
What? Oh my. That's very expensive. I mean, no problem. You'll definitely be paid. But what's the use of signing papers between friends?
I prefer that you sign, Count Arcus.
Why, of course, if you insist.
In the evenings after work, I'd think about my wife. She loved roses so much. In her memory, I signed my castle with the same rose that I carved on my baby's cradle. One fine day, the castle was finished. I was so proud of our work. I had no idea that this would end up being the worst day of my life.
The Count has sent me to get you. He's delighted with your work, and he's waiting for you in the castle. He wants to congratulate you in person. and pay you, of course.
I'll be there right away. See you soon, my little son.
There he is! He's the monster! Arrest him!
What's the meaning of this?
I
Let
saw
go of
him!
me!
He abandoned his child in the forest!
What?
I'll bet you Arcus kidnapped that baby.
He's a liar and a thief.
And then he accused you because he didn't want to pay for the castle. Simple as that.
You're right, children. But the villagers searched the forest and didn't find a thing. My little boy had vanished. All they found was a piece of his clothing.
Order in the court! Let the witness speak!
He abandoned the baby in the forest. He's the one who left him to the mercy of the wolves.
That's not true! He's lying! You have no proof!
Yes, nothing proves that the baby is dead.
You aren't going to acquit him after I just told you that he's guilty.
Thomas Gluck, you have been found guilty of abandoning your child in the forest. This court sentences you to 10 years in prison. And you are forbidden ever to set foot in Bavaria again. Take the prisoner away.
I'm innocent! I'm innocent! Those were desperate times for me. I was convinced that Arcus had abandoned my child, and that my little one had perished alone in the forest. And while I spent 10 horrible years breaking rocks, that criminal was spending his days in a castle that he never paid me for. After long years of suffering, I was suddenly freed. But nothing interested me anymore. I couldn't bear ever to design another building again. So I joined the Austrian army. And then during the Battle of Radenburg, I met Tommy. He was an orphan, and Bavarian, and he even looked a little like me. If my son was alive, he'd be the same age. So hope returned. A crazy kind of hope. What if my son wasn't dead? What if it was Tommy? I had to find out. Despite my banishment, I decided to return to Bavaria to discover the truth.
Papa! I'm sure that you're my papa!
My little Tommy.
Your dream, Tommy. Your dream.
Maybe my dream wasn't so silly after all.
What dream?
We'll explain it to you later, Mr. Heinrich. In the meantime, do me a big favor. Leave Thomas free for a few hours, and we'll prove that he's innocent.
Well, normally I don't have the right. But after all, I can't say no to you, Sissi. Agreed. I'll wait until daybreak, but no longer.
Thank you, Heinrich. And I promise that Thomas won't try to escape. I give you my word.
Bravo, Snidely. This time we got rid of that luck for good.
Here's the entrance to the underground passage. Follow me.
Here! It was here! The room in my nightmares. My cradle!
My contract!
There's the proof. All we have to do is show it to the burgomaster.
You won't be showing him anything. Give me back that cradle. Get away, you filthy beast!
Let's split up. We'll have a better chance of escaping.
We'll meet at Posse.
Let's split up. We must get that cradle back at all costs.
We have no choice, Tempest. We can do it. That's it, Tempest. Good boy. Keep going. Keep going. We're almost across.
Bavaria! Rah!
This time I think you're a little too late, Count Arcus.
I never should have let her go off alone.
I hope nothing happened to them.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gluck, but I'll have to...
Free you and arrest Count Arcus.
Leave it, Caspar. I'll take Prince Franz his mail myself. You rest. You look so tired.
Oh, thank you, Miss Helena. So very, very kind.
The Count and his bully boys have fled, but we'll arrest them soon. Don't worry. Let me introduce you to the new owner of the castle. Yes, I owe Thomas an apology. 10 years ago, I committed a terrible error. And since Count Arcus never paid him for the castle, it was only just that it be returned to Thomas.
And Tommy. Come on, son. We haven't finished looking over our beautiful castle.
See you later, Sissi! I'm so happy for Tommy. I'll really miss him.
And I'm sure that Franz misses you, too. Come on, sweetheart. Let's go back to Posse. The mail should be arriving soon.
Poor Franz.
Poor Sissi.
People say I am just too bold.